Hey, what's going on, guys? Tosh from Stack Trading here for another trade of the day. It was a pretty wild day in the market, specifically the bigger names such as the SPYs, the Qs, a lot of tech names. We're gapping down pretty aggressively with some of the economic news that was coming out, specifically relating to some of the news with Japan and threats of another lockdown there. So coming into the morning, uh, it was pretty interesting. Something that we've seen a revolving theme with these excessive gap downs in the overall market is it has a tendency of being bought back up. So that was our bias coming in to the morning because we knew there was a high chance that this dip could be bought back up, right? So we had that coming into the market. We also had some small cap names really having a lot of juice today, specifically CARV and DBGI. Those were two of the main names we were watching right out of the gates. And our trade of the day is actually going to go to CARV. So before we get into that, and I go over the trade, how we played it, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notifications button so you can be informed of when we post our trade of the days. So with that being said, let's get right into it. How did we trade CARV? Well, coming into the morning, CARV was gapping up very aggressively with no news whatsoever. The only thing that we saw come across our radars was that CARV was the most heavily shorted stock out there. Had around a 50% short float, and 50%, yeah, short float, and the overall float on the stock was around 5 million shares. So extremely small float on the stock. Coming into the morning, we noticed that it was bull flagging here, pretty much maintaining that range of around 17.50 to 20 bucks. So our initial idea was, hey, if it could break out of 19 bucks right out of the gates in the opening 5 minutes, let's go long and throw our stops at low of day, which would probably be around $17 to $18. So that initially did not happen. CARV actually dipped, but then formed a bottoming tail bar. And we initially called this long. I saw CARV on one of my other charts start dip below 1750, formed a bottoming tail bar, and then once it hit 1780, I called for a long. Now, I did not personally take this trade, and the only reason was because I was caught in DBGI. DBGI, I caught the long here around 8 bucks, shot up to 880, threw my stops at break even, and I actually got stopped out break even. I wanted to give this a chance to run, so because of that, I missed the opportunity on CARV. I didn't feel comfortable being in both CARV and DBGI at the same time, but as you can see, that ended up costing me quite a bit of money, right? But nonetheless, we called for the long here on CARV at 18 bucks, ripped up the 19, got halted, and then from here on, it just went on a monster run. You see that it's been halted here 3 times in this one run up here. Or I'm sorry, this is 2 times. Halted here around 1930, immediately went up, popped up to 22, halted again. From here on, CARV was immediately on my A list. So I got stopped out at DBGI and I fully focused here on CARV, but I wanted to find a safe entry, right? That's the main thing when you have a lot of these stocks that are moving excessively. You need to know exactly where you're going to place your stops. You need to have that risk reward in mind, no matter how good the setup looks, right? No matter how much of an obvious long that it looks, you have to have that predetermined game plan, because if this goes against you, this is a very aggressive stock. It could easily pull back 7-10 points on you, and then what, right? What is going to be your exit plan? So because of that, I wanted to remain patient. I didn't want to, have FOMO, although I was feeling the FOMO from missing out on that initial move. But I waited. I waited here for the ADA to catch up. That's always a reference point that we're using. And then once CARV started to reclaim this ADA, I felt comfortable looking for my entry. Now, what's also important to point out here is that if you look at this price level that I have drawn out here, I'm going to go out in the daily chart. This was a level that CARV actually hit. I mean, you have to go out on a 20-year chart to actually see this price point. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's actually back here on earlier in June. CARV hit a high of 22.97 back here. We can actually zoom out on the daily chart. No need to go out that far. But it hit a high of 22.97, which is right here. Oh, sorry. That's actually... Where is this? There we go. Okay, that's why. It was June of 2021. So June of 2021, this is a stock that was a former runner. Hit a high of 22.97, right? And what's interesting is once it broke out at 22.97 here on the intraday basis, this is the 5-minute chart, it found support at that same level. Not exactly, it hit 23.10 was the exact low of the candlestick, but you get what I'm saying here. It found that range of support. And once that started to happen, I said, you know what? If this holds a support, bounces off the 8 of May, reclaims 25 bucks, I'll go long and then throw my stops at 23 bucks. So I'm only risking $2 on the play. I got long at 24.98 exactly. Immediately ripped to the upside. I got caught in this upside halt. It was halted at 26.73. Threw my stops at break even, and immediately this ripped up to 30 bucks. And I'm a little upset with myself about this trade. And the reason is because I sold at $30.55. I was up $5 on the play. Amazing trade right then and there. I knew it had more room to run, but I just wanted to take that quick profit. So I ended up taking my profit, and seconds later, it had to be no more than 1 to 2 seconds later, the stock got halted at the same exact price that I sold at. And then as you can see from here, ended up running up to, nearly 39 bucks from then on. So an additional $9, $8 to $9 from where I got out. Nonetheless, it was still an amazing trade, still an excellent trade, but I did leave some money on the table. What I should have done is threw my stops at 30 bucks, right? Throw my stops at the whole dollar area and let it continue to run. So there was a slight mistake on my part, but hey, profit is profit. You can't be upset with it, and move on to the next trade. So CARV from here on ended up pulling back pretty significantly, as you can see coming out of this pop here. This actually happened extremely quickly, like probably within like a minute. Popped up and then immediately yanked, and then it got the downside halt. You see it came back down to that support, 22.97. I did not go in here. However, I did get long here around 27.50 once price action started to trade back above the 8 of May. I'm playing it very, very lightly, literally a fourth of the size that I played earlier, and I'm currently in on the position right now. I have my stops at break even, so I'll let it do its thing. But the idea going into this trade, moving forward for the rest of the day, is to see how price action behaves in the afternoon. We saw this with NEGG yesterday. Let me show you the chart on this really quick. You can see that it had a pre-market consolidation, right? You had a big pullback, and then towards the end of the day, around 2 o'clock, it started to pick back up. And at 3 o'clock, that's when you saw the spike up into new highs, right? So the same idea with CARV here. I know in the day trading community, it's being traded pretty heavily. There's a lot of hype around it. Every room is all over this. So the mere fact that it's holding, it's back near those highs, I think there's a good chance that CARV could get another pop here. Now, like I said, I will protect myself, throw my stops at break even. But if we see CARV back up to 30, 36, 37 and break that new high, this will go on another run. Like I said, it's a very heavily shorted stock, 50% short float. So you could see a major squeeze start to occur again here on CARV. So let's see how it trades for the rest of the day. Small caps are on fire right now. You're seeing stocks in the small cap world have 150%, which was NEGG yesterday. CARV at one point was up 260% today. You're seeing some major moves in the small cap world, and as day traders, that's what you love to see. That's what you live for. That's where you really make a buttload of money when it comes to moves like this. So make sure that you're capitalizing on these opportunities and trade responsibly. If you need a community to trade with, we're always here. Visit us, check out our Discord channel, and feel free to join our live trading room. That's going to do it for us, guys. Again, make sure to comment below what you think about CARV, how you traded it today, or any other stocks, what were your trades of the day. And make sure to subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Catch you tomorrow.